Why, thank you very much, sir. Pulling another mech onto the board for me. I do like board presence. I do like having mechs on board. And as we head into my turn 6, when you can throw an awful lot of damage face and put your opponent down to 1 health, they'd need a bit of a miracle here to win the game. And well, that miracle, could it be Reno Jackson, perhaps? Highly unlikely in this instance. I mean, even Reno to 30, he'd still have a bit of a problem, right, with all the damage that's sitting on the board. So perhaps he'd have to summon something pretty big, maybe a big taunt, look for backup through Call to Arms. And that really isn't very strong backup. Yeah, hello indeed. That was a pretty cool game. Turn 6 lethals are pretty fun. So, what am I playing today? I'm playing Beardyman's Mech Mage. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Beardyman, Beardyman is the dude that recommended Rez Shaman to me. A deck that I played, a couple of weeks back on my channel, had an awful lot of fun with it. So, Beardyman is a dude that, if he recommends a deck to me, I have faith in it. If he says it's going to do well for me, I have faith in him. And for those of you that are wondering what Beardyman looks like, there's a little photo of him right there. Actually imposed onto a skater bot, because Beardyman is such a cool dude. That's how I imagine him going around his daily life in the UK, skating around the streets like a skater bot, playing Hearthstone on his smartphone, playing Mech Mage. Such a cool dude. That's how I'm sure he lives his life as a skater bot. So, Mech Mage is one of my favourite decks to play. I have fond memories of this. For those of you that are newer players to Hearthstone, Mech Mage was introduced back in late 2014. It was the second expansion post Naxxramas, Goblins versus Gnomes. I believe it was December 2014 going into January 2015, and Mech Mage became one of the premier decks to come out of GVG. And cards like Mech Warper that discounted the cost of your mechs, cards like Piloted Shredder, which was seen as a disgustingly overpowered 4-drop. Cards like that really changed the meta at the time, and you know, I had a lot of fun with it, and then sort of other more aggressive decks came along over time. The meta changed, you know, Secret's Paladin ascended, you then had the ascension of Druid in particular. Things changed and Mech Mage disappeared. But now, this deck here, it can have its moments from time to time on the ladder. If you can take advantage of other decks that are slow that appear, then you can get some quick wins out of the meta. So from time to time, Mech Mage certainly has value. So we're going to have a look at only one game of this deck in action on the Wild Mode ladder. You are looking for an early curve, by the way, and you're looking for Galvanizer and Mech Warper to discount the cost of your cards. You're looking at Aluneth to refill your hand. You're looking at Gorilla Bots to refill your hand, and you're just looking for tempo and then looking to do some early trades if needed, and then to push lethals very, very quickly. Sure, Aluneth refills your hand, but really and truly, I think the longer the game goes, if you're going up against control decks in particular that can start throwing mass AoEs at your board, the longer the game goes, the more of a disadvantage you're at. So you need to try and end the game quickly. So ideally, your fireballs, I think, should be your finishers going face. They will see mechs. They will see Book of Spectres get played. They will not expect fireballs to the face. So I've found that fireballs are a great finisher. So yeah, we're only going to look at one game of this deck in action on the Wild Mode ladder, and it's a game against one of the decks that I absolutely hate the most in all of Hearthstone, and to be able to destroy it so quickly was really the highlight of my year. Okay, are you ready for this? This is a rogue, ladies and gentlemen, and it's rank 5 on Wild Mode, thus it probably means Kingsbane Rogue. Now, my mulligan is somewhat questionable here, but because I've got the Galvanizer in hand, and I've drawn a 1-drop, I'm pretty confident in this mulligan. And because I want to push pressure early, keeping that 5-drop I think is fine if you know it can be discounted. And straight away on turn 1, we're putting a lot of pressure on this board, and we've managed to discount our hand because we've also got a turn 2 play. This is pretty good. And that's actually quite a substantial turn 2 play because we take advantage of the magnetic effect. And if you look at our strategy here, if you look at where we're headed, we're going to be putting all of our eggs in one basket. We're going to be buffing up that one minion, and we're just going to have to hope that he doesn't have sap, because sap is his key way of disrupting my pressure. If he doesn't have it, we're probably going to win the game. Well, that's too slow. That's actually quite slow as well, because he can't attack with it. And now we just keep the pressure going. 8 attack, 13 health. Smashing Kingsbane Rogue in the face, and he's not been able to attack yet with Kingsbane. Feels pretty amazing. So no sap yet. Oh yeah, sure, buff your weapon. Sure, draw some pirates. Still can't attack with Kingsbane. So, how do we want to end this game? I guess we could buff our minion. And then just fireball his face. And that had to be the most satisfying fireball that I've played all year. Right, so Beardyman's Mech Mage. Tremendously fun deck to play, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a try, right? It's a wonderful trip down memory lane, remembering the glory days of goblins versus gnomes. Adding the magnetic effect, though, which has been done recently, has been a massive boost to Mech Mage. With magnetic, you can just start building these huge mechs on board, which your opponent cannot deal with. And you saw an example in that earlier game. None of the minions that the Kingsbane Rogue were playing could do anything to hurt that big minion that I was putting on the board. Okay, big magnetic minions are vulnerable to Hex, to Polymorph, to Sap, but if they don't have it, you just win the game. The next question you're going to ask me is, how does this deck fare against tier 1 decks in the wild meta? Well, Beardyman, whose judgment that I trust, and he assures me that this deck does well against the other top tier decks in wild, and I would agree with him. Against Big Priest, and Big Priest is the deck that has been showing up the most for me on Wild Mode. There are so many Big Priests out there. You can kill them by turn 5 or turn 6 with this deck. You know, if they don't have Barnes on 4, and Barnes on 3 or 4 is the problem, because they can get an Obsidian statue down, resummon it, and then you're screwed. Maybe Barnes getting Ragnaros out isn't the end of the world, because you can get a wide board, and Rag can just start hitting low attack, low health mechs. Maybe that's fine. But if they get statue, you're sort of screwed. If they don't get Barnes on 3 or 4, then you can kill them by turns 5 or 6, and turn 6 is the Shadow Essence turn. So if you can get that far, you stand a really good chance of winning the game. Against Dude Paladin, this deck I think is fine because you can actually out-pressure the dudes early and then kill them by turn 5 or turn 6, which is their level up turn. So if you can kill them before level up comes down, you can win the game. Even Shaman is a bit of a problem because they can actually out-pressure you. Totem Golem, 2 mana minion, 2 mana cost minion, 3 attack, 4 health. That's a problem. 4 mana 7/7 can be a problem. Thing from Below played for cheap can be a problem. So actually, their early threats can start to out-pressure you. And a Maelstrom Portal with spell power is also bad too. So even Shaman can be a problematic game, but you still have a chance of out-pressuring them, and particularly with the magnetic effects and building big minions, there is a good chance that you can still win. So, fun deck, give it a try. If you guys give it a try, tell me what you think. Are there any cards that you would take out of this deck? Any other cards that you'd introduce? Are there other mechs that you feel are more appropriate? And I also wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you very much to all of you that have been watching this channel in the year 2018. It's been a wonderful year. The channel has grown, and I'm continuing to have fun with Hearthstone. I'm continuing to, you know, play decks that I enjoy. So thank you to all of you who have been along for that ride and who have supported me. And as we head into the Christmas season, in the festive season, I just wanted to wish all of you a Merry Christmas, and to say to stay safe over Christmas, have fun, chill out. And as we head into 2019, I'm expecting great things from Hearthstone. Do you know what I'm expecting in 2019? I'm hoping for an all-dragon expansion, because I love playing dragons, right? So an all-dragon expansion is on my wish list for 2019. I don't know if it will happen, I don't think it will happen, but I can always hope and I can always dream. So thanks very much again for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Give it a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun.